I am going to explain how to solder copper tubes. First of all, cut the tube well. To do it, we have a specific tool, if we don't want to cut with a hacksaw. The hacksaw has the problem that it can move and we always make a bevel cut and the pipe will not fit well in the fitting. However, check out this tube cutter. As it has two guide rollers that force the tube, it stays here, perfectly fitted, and as we are introducing this cutting disc with the regulating screw, the piece is cut. The procedure is every time I turn, I press a little more the screw of the knob, and thus the disc is inserted more and more and favors the cut of the tube. Now I am sure it is perfectly cut at right angles, and as it will fit to the end of the fitting. When I enter it, the second thing to keep in mind when I am using pipes, is that I have to ensure that there is no burrs inside, no particles that obstruct the water when it flows. To do this I use a reamer. It is a piece like this. A tool that allows me to clean those burrs. In other tube cutters we have others that are triangular. It does not matter. The fact is that I always have to remember to clean well the inside of all the pipes. The inside of the tubes is now clean. I have to ensure that they are also clean on the outside, removing the varnish that covers the tubes, although later it will also go with the soldering flux, but it is good to remove it to make sure that there are no particles that can prevent the tin of solder as correctly adhered from doing its job. To clean it, all I have to do is use a steel wool or a hard scouring pad like this one. I already have the tubes clean inside and outside. Now I can solder them. These are the pipes that we are going to solder. I have chosen a configuration of tubes that go horizontally and vertically, to solder from bottom to top, so you will see the capillarity that it is one of the soldering characteristics. The soldering goes up smoothly. What are the main elements of soldering? The first of all, the stripper or soldering flux. We have to apply it before soldering, and it is the one that will allow the pipes to be prepared to have that capillary that we need. In addition, it prevents the copper tube from rusting when applying heat. The lead-free solder has a composite alloy with tin and other metals like silver that gives solders hardness. How much lead-free solder do we have to use? The rule is very simple. If we are, for example, in this case, soldering an 18 mm tube, we have to apply approximately the same as the diameter of the tube, about 18 mm of lead-free solder to make sure you cover the soldering well. Third, of course, the torch. I can use a torch like this, with a high-temperature gas cylinder, which will also work for brazing, or for a normal soldering. But, for a simple work like this, we can also use a more basic type of torch, which you can easily find in stores. Let's start by applying, like we said, the flux. Try to be generous in the application, because the soldering area has to be perfectly covered. When you apply it, put the pipes immediately inside the fitting to make sure that they are not impregnated with dirt from the ground, or from the place where you are working. We have to solder these two joints. We are going to solder this joint from the bottom up so that you can see that it does not present any problem, and that indeed the lead-free solder will always go up looking for all the points where it can see. We connect the torch. We will always use it with the least skillful hand. If we are right-handed, we will use the blowtorch with the left hand, because this way, when we work, the right hand, our dominant hand, is the one that allows me to control the roll of lead-free solder, which is what I get closer to the pipe and what I have to avoid burn me. Look at this flame. It is important that we look at this. This dark blue inner part is called the flame. The tip of that dark blue part is the one with maximum temperature. It is the one that we are going to get closer to the pipe to get the area of greatest heat, and all that aura of light from the fire that is around is what we wrap the entire tube in to give it heat, even below and in the areas where we cannot approach with the flame. We will always carefully distribute the temperature between all soldering zones. Do not do it one by one so that the lead-free solder of the first soldering does not soften when heating the next one. A greener flare will generally indicate that the copper is already hot enough to receive the solder. Once we have finished soldering, we can clean it with a very wet cloth to remove the remaining flux. Be careful, of course, not to burn yourself. Our soldering is ready.